Hello, everybody, and welcome back for episode 46 of the Doll Symposium. As always, I'm your host, Shizusan, and my beautiful assistant today with me is the very lovely Kano. So without further ado, why don't we just get today's video started? Okay, everybody, so before we start with today's news, I want to do for the very last time, I just want to make the last announcement for the upcoming event of Thy Geekdom Con. So as of the release of this video, when you guys are watching this, or at least when it gets released, it will be the first day, May 26th, of Thy Geekdom Con. So if you just so happen to be watching this on Friday, it already started, but you still have time to come down for Saturday and Sunday. So basically, Thy Geekdom Con is a convention featuring all things geeks, and it's going to be in the greater Philadelphia area in Oaks, PA. I will be there, as well as Tempest Strife, Magical Girl Kit Kat, Kitten Cat Shop, and My Lady Disdain will all be there at the event. If you can only make it to one day, then I would highly suggest you come down on Saturday, as mostly everybody will be there. So if you definitely want to come out and meet us and have a good time, talk about dolls, just chat it up, take some photographs, come on down to Thy Geekdom Con May 26th through 28th. Saturday is probably your best bet to meet everybody if you want to hang out and meet everybody. If not, we do have a couple other things on other days, like we have a workshop, we have giveaways. I'll be doing an Easter egg hunt, but that will be on Saturday. We're gonna have two doll panels. I'm gonna be hosting my own panel on Friday at 4:30, which is a sumo wrestling panel, which is definitely something not doll related, but it's something that I like talking about, which I think is pretty cool, and it'll be a fun topic for this year. Think that's everything, right? Yeah, just about. So come on down to Thy Geekdom Con May 26th through 28th. Hope to see you guys there. So that is my last announcement for this, because the next Doll Symposium, this event will already be over. So that was a huge mouthful. Let's get started with the news for today. So my very lovely assistant Kano is going to go into her little corner for now. All right, Kano, can you hang out? Okay, there you go. And we are going to switch screens to our here. There we go. So as always, we are going to tackle some Dolphy Dream news this week. And I want to get started with something that I thought was really, really interesting, or maybe not too interesting. I guess it depends on how you look at it. But that'll be Doll's Party Event 49. I know you guys are probably sick of me talking about this because the event is already over. It's done. And then the after event for both Volks International and Volks USA is already done. So if you haven't gotten your stuff already, there are some things still available on the International and the Volks USA website. Do check them out if you missed out on Doll Party 49 this past month and a half. But the main reason why I'm bringing this up is because I thought something was really interesting about this event, and that is the new dolls that were released. Now, Ariel, the Disney princess in resin, was released and is sold out. That is to be expected usually for the Disney princess collaborations. They pretty much do sell out and do well. However, with the vinyl dolls, we have the brand new Dolphy Dream CL from Tsukihime and Dolphy Dream's sister. I forgot her name already, but she is the idol master for her Dolphy Dream sister. That was released during Doll Party 49. Now, normally these anime collaborations do pretty well, and they sell out pretty much the moment they come out during the event and the after event combined. However, this time around, they're still available. It's been a month after they're released and a couple weeks after their release in the after events, and both of these characters are still available. So if you had missed out on the original release and you still want either of these girls, it's pretty rare that they're still available, and they are. So definitely check out the Volks International website. I believe they're also available on the Volks USA website if you want any of these lovely ladies here. I think that's everything that's going to be covered under Doll Party 49. Yeah, I believe so. And that pretty much ends up everything for Dolphy Dream news this week. There really wasn't much news to talk about or discuss. It was just the fact that these two lovely ladies are still available. So let's move on to our next topic. Just kidding. Psych! I think I got some of you. Did I get some? I I think I got some of you. Some of you are probably like, wait, you forgot something. And yes, I did that on purpose. I'm just messing with you guys. There was another big announcement through Volks, and this one was pretty big, even though we didn't really get much information, and that is the new Mini Dolphy Dream base body. So, if you don't remember, it was sometime around last Christmas, I believe it was, around November or December time of last year. They announced that the Mini Dolphy Dream base body was going to be discontinued. And that was it. They really didn't say anything else. They didn't say that there's a new one coming. They didn't say anything like there's never going to be one ever again. Nothing. We got nothing other than the fact that it's being discontinued. Now, if you go on the Volks International website and the Volks USA website, oddly enough, the Mini Dolphy Dream base bodies are still around and still available, as well as the Mochi Ashi versions, still available. I guess the threat or whatever you want to call it that Mini Dolphy Dreams being discontinued didn't really bother too many people. Now, there was probably some people that got, a little scared that they're going to miss out, the whole FOMO thing, and they bought a couple base bodies. But I kind of knew, and most of the community kind of knew that something was going to come down the pipe. We just weren't sure. Like, was it going to be a brand new Mini Dolphy Dream body? Was it going to be a whole new Dolphy Dream? Like, maybe not Mini Dolphy Dream, but, something else. Like, I don't know. I'm just making stuff like Dolphy Dream Elementary or Dolphy Dream Baby or something like that. I don't know. Maybe like a whole new scale. Point of the matter is, I don't know why my nose is so itchy. But the point of the matter is, we got no information. And now we finally do. So on May 25th, they released that they're going to be doing the Mini Dolphy Dream Base Body 2.0 DDF3 or F cubed, whichever way you want to put it. I've been calling it the DDF3. I know other individuals have been calling the DDF cubed. Oddly enough, if you Google Translate their international website, it does say DDF and then in parentheses, the word cube. It actually spelled it CUBE. So maybe it is DDF cubed. But this is the picture of her. You can't really tell much of a difference. It pretty much looks like, at least from the outer shell, it looks in this picture to be the same Mini Dolphy Dream. It's not like, at least from what I can tell from these early production photos, it's not like there's different ball joints. They kind of look like they're the same. Maybe they hid the ball joint in the foot a little bit better, I guess. But the real meat and potatoes is what's inside. The shell, I'm assuming, is just reused. Now, other individuals on the internet have been speculating that, the thighs are thinner. I think the thighs are the same. I could be wrong, but the thighs seem to be the same shape. I think what they really improved upon was the inner frame and maybe the height, but because we're only looking at a picture, right? So it's possible that the height is slightly taller or maybe slightly shorter. Now, I will go into some notices also in the next couple slides of differences that I may have noticed. But overall, she looks pretty much the same as they did before. And I think the biggest thing that they changed is probably the inner skeleton. Now, oddly enough, if you wanted to find this same information and read it yourself and look it up yourself, it's not available on the Volks International or Volks USA website unless you are a member. Actually, I don't even think it's available on Volks USA now that I really think about it. I think Volks USA doesn't have it mentioned at all. It's on the Volks International website. But if you just go and you Google the website, it won't pop up. Like, you'll see something that says new Mini Dolphy Dream, please subscribe, basically. And there's going to be a link for you to, go to the subscription page and get a membership. So it's basically the standard membership. You can be, VS, VIP, or GL. Most of us international buyers, if not all of us, are going to be GL members, which was about $8 per year. So it doesn't cost that much. Plus the fact that if you want to participate in any of the lotteries or any of the new things, you have to be a GL member anyways. But I thought it's better to let you know because I don't usually have my login information saved on my computer or on my phone for Volks. So I always have to enter in the password. So when I went to go look for it, I couldn't find any information. Long-winded story, I know, but basically you got to be a member to see this info, and then it'll pop up on your feed. Now, going on to the next picture. This picture here shows basically they're saying that the doll improved its range of motion in the neck and the back greatly. It didn't really hint at anything else like the arms or the legs or anything, but they really were specific in saying that the neck and the back has greatly improved, where you can freely move the upper body and bend it, as shown in this picture here, which, I mean, it's tough for me to say because I don't normally put my dolls in a pose such as this, at least not me, at least not me personally, but I did do this same pose with my smart dolls because I was trying to see how flexible they were when I first purchased my smart dolls way back in the day. And then I tried to replicate it with a Dolphy Dream and I couldn't. So maybe they're just catching up with the times or whatever. But they didn't really mention anything in specific other than saying oh, the neck and the back is greatly improved. Now, for those of you that are not familiar with the DDF3 body or the inner frame, it's not super new. It's been around, I want to say since 2018, I think, for the DDF3 or the DDF Cube. I think that's how long it's been around. But either way, it's not something that's brand new. Now, they're trying to say that this is a new 2.0 version. But when I look at the skeleton, it kind of looks the same as the original DDF3 skeleton. I could be wrong. I don't know. Again, we don't have specifics. This is all the information that we got. Same thing here. It says, I aimed for more movement and easier handling. I would like to introduce the specific changes again in the second blog. So it's just a lot of vague things just telling you that this is improved, this is better, but we don't have any hard facts. We don't have any measurements. Now, when I say measurements, if you go to the Dolphy Dream page, each version of the dolls, whether it's a Dynamite, a DDS, a regular DD, they have measurements on there so that you can see the height, the waist, the bust, the hips, the arm length, everything has a measurement so that you know exactly, I guess, what it is that you're dealing with without having to physically measure it yourself. But we got none of that information here. We're more than likely going to get it in this supposed second blog that they're talking about. So this is just really giving us a taste of what's to come. They also say the doll will be able to take the pose you want. Easier to pose. It looks beautiful when posed. A lot of that seems really redundant, but again, it could be Google Translate just not doing it very well. Now, one thing I will say is that according to this picture that you can see on screen right now, and again, I could be wrong, but one thing I can visually see immediately when I look at this is that her feet look slightly shorter. Because I think that was one thing that I was worried about, is that the original mini Dolphy Dream, the feet, is not exactly the same size as a regular Dolphy Dream, but it was kind of slightly shorter. And it always kind of looked a little funny because to me it looked like the feet were a little too big for the shorter bodies. But again, I mean, I could be wrong. I haven't really taken a look at my mini Dolphy Dream's feet as of late. It's just something I remember in the back of my mind because most of my dolls are always on display and they're always clothed, so I don't really see it. Now, I could have done some extra research and taken the shoe off their foot just so I could see, but I just didn't have time for that. All I can say is that from this picture that I can see here, it does visually look to be slightly shorter. But again, we don't have any real measurements that we can like post it against or weigh it against. Now it says no matter how much the internal frame moves, the soft vinyl parts interfere and the exterior has been completely redesigned with new modeling. Which I'm like, where? Like it looks the same. I'm not sure. Again, like I said, I could be wrong, but I'm looking at this and it looks kind of the same. If anything, maybe the attachment here of the thighs going onto the torso right here with the crotch, maybe that's a little bit more visual aesthetically pleasing, because if I remember correctly, that the original one had a little bit more of a gap in between the connectors, and that's because the way that they made the molding for the thighs was like a little bit thinner, so you could kind of see an outline of where it would close in on itself, or the collision of the thigh into the torso piece. They cut a little smaller to allow let, so it can go a little closer. Other than that, like I don't. Again, this is all very preliminary. I don't really see too much of a difference. But they claim here that no matter how much the internal frame moves, the soft vinyl parts interfere and the exterior has been completely redesigned with new modeling. I'm not entirely sure. Now, the next thing here is just a little picture here showing you this is what the skeleton looks like inside. It looks the same as any other DDF3 skeleton. Again, I could be wrong, but initially, my initial impressions are it looks the same. It's just scaled down because the mini Doll Free Dream is smaller. And then it just shows you these pictures here of the locking mechanism. So when you put the shoulder joints together or the leg joints together into the hip, it actually has a two-prong section. So you have the green section, which is the part that attaches to the doll and it grasps. So like at the edge of the green here, you're going to have like a little ring and a little ring, so that when you push it into that green receiver here, that ring kind of locks, because there's like a ridge on the inside of the peg where it supposedly locks. And then once it locks, the red part here is what actually turns. So there's no real friction from the connecting point and the actual joint, which is pretty cool. If anything, that is like the new thing that they decided to do for this new inner frame. So like I said before, like I think the inner frame is really what changed the most, more so than the exterior. Again, I could be wrong. This is all preliminary, and until I can get one in my actual hands and then do an actual comparison, it's all speculation right now. We just have these pictures to go off of, and you know, the final product will be the final product. Now, the one thing that I thought was funny is that this picture here. So when they announced this, which was on May 25th, which was it right now? Pretty much the day of today. It was this morning, like around like, for me, it was like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. in the morning. Volks, you know, sent out this tweet on their Twitter page at like 6 in the morning for me, which I didn't see until 8 because, you know, I getting ready for work and driving to work, etc., yada yada. So anyways, they say here, now this is Google Translate, okay? It says here, pre-release period, May 25th, Thursday to the 31st, Wednesday. Click here for details. Now, when you click this, it just brings you to the informational page that you see here, like with this little snippets. Now, I just took like screenshots of things, so I'm not on the actual page. This is my PowerPoint presentation, but it essentially brings you to the page that shows you this. And nothing on that page says anything about pre-release or the release date or pre-orders or anything like that. It says nothing on there. So I'm wondering if this is a typo when they say pre-release period. I'm assuming what they're trying to say is that informational release. Like, if you can read Japanese and you can read this top part here, let me know what it says in the Japanese section, because it may be a Google Translate error, because I couldn't find anything on the website, even when I logged into my GL membership, that discussed anything about pre-releases. So I'm just assuming what they mean by here, that was a mistranslation, was that the informational release period. So the 25th is when they first posted this. So this is our first taste of the Mini Dolphy Dream 2.0 DDF3. And basically from here on out, from the 25th up to the 31st, I guess daily or every other day or whatever it may be, we're slowly going to get more information about the Mini Dolphy Dream 2.0 DDF3 or cubed. That is my long-winded explanation about this new news that we finally got about Mini Dolphy Dream. So, for those of you that were scared that they were canceling Mini Dolphy Dream altogether, they're not. And I said that too when we first found out that it was being discontinued. I was like, there's no way they're canceling it forever. They must be revamping the skeleton or something. And I was right, and most of you were also right, because you all thought the same thing for the most part. So yeah, we're just gonna have to keep waiting for more information. Keep your eyes peeled on the Volks International website or their Twitter page for more information on the new Mini Dolphy Dream 2.0 DDF3/cubed. So that was a really long description, but it was big news. We've been waiting 6 months, or well, not 6 months, 5 months for this news. So we're gonna get more. We're gonna get more people next, because we're finally moving on to other things. Next up, if you pre-ordered Kaito, they're just letting us know that Saturday, May 27th, we'll start delivering your Kaito. So those of you that pre-ordered him and have been waiting for a while, he's finally coming. So May 27th is when they're going to start sending things out. So just be aware and check your emails for your tracking numbers. Now, here's the next part. The Dolphy Dream 20th anniversary thingy. So, if you remember, this is a 3-part series. I don't know why my nose is bothering the crap out of me today. It's allergies. It's definitely... Allergies have been killing me. So, give me a second. So, allergies have been killing me. Now, this was a 3-part segment. And if you remember, when we discussed the first part, it was to vote on the doll that you wanted to have a re-release. And if I remember correctly, because I'm trying to remember, but that first part was a lot of old Dolphy Dreams. Like, not old, but every Dolphy Dream that was ever released, they can get another release if you voted. Now, we don't know the winners, or at least I don't think we have the winners yet of the first part. And we assumed that part 2 and part 3 was going to be other body shapes, like Dolphy Dream Dynamite, Dolphy Dream Sister, and Mini Dolphy Dream, whereas we only saw Dolphy Dreams in the first selection, if I remember correctly. So we thought that part collaboration 2, or best selection number 2, was going to be other body designs. Well, that it is not. It is going to be collaboration outfits. So since the very beginning of Dolphy Dream, now you get to vote on 3 outfit sets that you would like to get a re-release. Now the voting period has started on May 19th, so it already got started, and it will end on June 18th. So if there's anything in particular that you would like to get a re-release because you missed out before, or it's intensely high scalper prices, definitely go and do your voting. Remember, you can vote every single day. You just can't vote more than once in the same day. Now, there is a whole laundry list of outfits, but some of the most notable ones that I thought were pretty cool, we're going to look at. Like, for instance, these. Outfit number 3, 4, and 5. This is way back in the day, because we got like, what, 150 or 160 outfits total. So these are one of the earlier ones, and I've always wanted this saber. Oh, sorry, I went too fast. Always wanted this saber outfit right here. This was like the summer beach outfit. I had the statue of this at one point. I sold it. I totally regret selling it because it was one of the coolest statues I had, but I needed doll money, so I kind of sold it. But who needs a statue if I can finally get my hands on the outfit? So I'm definitely voting for this. Very cool. They got the maid outfit. This is known to stain horribly, so be careful. And then the saber plain clothes with the lion. Oh, another one I want to have a re-release. Both number 3 and number 5. I would love to see re-releases. Now I said there's like 150 outfits. There's a whole bunch. But these are some notable ones I thought was really cool, as well as the Sailor Scouts. So those are the Sailor Moon fans, and you were able to get the Sailor Moon Scouts of your choice. Or if you never got them and you only wanted the outfits, but you missed out on the outfits, here's your chance to get the outfits. So you have the junior high school uniform set that you see Serena wearing here. It's the same outfit for Mercury. That's why you don't see Mercury on here. They wear the same outfit. You have Ray's outfit, you have Makoto's outfit, and then you have Venus's outfit over here. If you want either of these, vote for them, please, so that they can get a re-release. And then also, these are some more notable ones. The ever infamous Ribbon Girl set that costs like, I think Volks initially released it at retail for like, what was it, $200 or $250 US? And like a lot of people are scalping them online for like $500, $600. Well, scalper prices will go down if everybody votes for number 83, the Ribbon Girl outfit for a re-release. So a lot of people have been wanting this outfit, and it's been really hard to find. And if you do find it, it's super expensive. Or it's missing pieces, and it's cheaper because it's missing pieces. Who knows? Also, the Hoppy Coats for all the Magical Mirai events from 2017 up until 2021, and then the newest 10th anniversary one. All those are on there, so you can vote for the what's it called? The Miku Happy Coats, the Megurun Luka Happy Coats, the Ren and is it Ren? Yeah, Ren and Len or Reen and Len Happy Coats. Those are all on there to vote on to get a re-release. And then the other thing I thought was really funny is this big penguin outfit. You don't see too many of these Kigurumi outfits from Volks. So like I think it's interesting that you can actually do this one again and get your hands on one of those. So who knows? The best outfit collection or the best 20th anniversary thing, outfit collection selection number 2. Go and vote for your favorite. All right. And then if you go to the Volks USA website, so we have some Volks USA news. If you missed out on getting any of these stands during the international website release, which I definitely missed because I overslept when it got released, Volks USA is going to have theirs released sometime in June. They didn't specify when. They're just saying here at the bottom, sometime in June 2023. So here's another chance for all of you to get your stands if you missed out on it the first time around on the international website. Okay. Next up. Azone International News. Unfortunately, we haven't heard a peep from them in like 3 weeks. It either means they're really gearing up for some cool releases, or they just legit have nothing to release. I mean, they went through the same thing as Volks and Smart Doll did. They had Golden Week, which they took the week off. So I don't know what it is that they're preparing for, but we don't have any news to talk about from Azone International this week, which is unfortunate because usually they're the ones that usually announce something like every single week. They have something new going on because they have so many different lines of dolls and stuff like that. So I don't know. Take it for which will. Maybe they're gearing up for the summer festival because I believe, I could be mistaken. I think there's a Wonderfest in the summer. I think it happens twice a year, right? There's a winter Wonderfest and then there's a summer Wonderfest where they show like new prototypes and all the new announcements for new stuff coming out. Maybe they're gearing up for that and that's why we haven't heard anything. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I could be wrong, but I couldn't find any Azone news for this week. So that pretty much brings us to Smart Doll. And we have some interesting things to talk about for Smart Doll. I don't want to dwell on it for too long because some of them are just kind of like, do we really need to dwell on it for so long? But we'll see how it goes. So first up, obviously, Danny Chu went on vacation. We knew this was happening. And he went on vacation during Golden Week back to the UK. He had a great time. He really loved it. He missed his time there. And the thing that I really took away from it was, one, he actually met up with a couple people when he was there, like he said he wanted to. So kudos to them, those individuals that got to hang out with Danny Chu and have breakfast with him. I'm sure you all had an amazing time, picking his brains and just talking shop. Uh, like I said before, I've met Danny Chu. I was very lucky to meet Danny Chu several times, and he's one of the coolest people you could ever talk to. Very down to earth. It's just it's like talking to a friend that you've known all your life, even though you only met him for the first time. And it's really hard not to fanboy or fangirl around him. But at the same time, it's kind of not, because he's just so relatable and very easy to talk to. So kudos to those individuals that had a chance to speak with him when he was in the UK. Now, another thing I thought was interesting is that right here on the bottom of his little blurb here, he's like, I'm currently looking into options of returning to the UK later this year for an event. Ooh. Now, I know that the UK has a convention every year. I think it's only one convention that they have for anime, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not an expert in this, but I heard that there is a convention. There could be more than one, but one like really big one that's like on the level of like what we have here, Anime Expo. So apparently he's planning to go to an event, which I'm assuming is that. And then he says perhaps a pop-up shop somewhere in Notting Hill or at the West End. I'm also considering participating in some of the pop culture events. Any recommendations? So he's missed traveling, and I don't blame him. I mean, Japan's been on the lockdown for a while, and when they did release the borders for, Japanese residents to go travel out, it's been very difficult for them going out and back in, kind of thing. And it's been difficult for a lot of us international people trying to get in. They only recently opened the borders for international travelers, so I don't blame him. He's been cooped up in Japan, haven't seen family and stuff like that, or friends outside. So kudos to him. I'm happy he had a chance to go out, take some time off, meet family, meet friends, meet new doll people in the UK, and it's given him inspiration to travel again. So I have to admit, I'm a bit jealous that UK is getting some good attention right now. But at the same time, I can't complain, because we had Danny for how many years coming to the United States? So it's about time that Europe got some love. So definitely, all you European doll owners out there, this is your time, man. He's coming back to the UK and maybe some other places. Who knows? I don't know. But I mean, if he's willing to go to the UK, you never know. He may branch out into other places. Give him some recommendations. That's what he's asking for. So, I'm sorry. My nose is really bothering me today, people. Okay, so he made another post. This is a more recent post that he did for the latest Chaos drop. And what I really took away from this is not only was it with the regular Chaos stuff, like the wig bundles, the shoe bundles, the what's it called? The vinyl bodies, the utter Chaos drops where you can get random things. The thing I thought was interesting was these heads that he released. So he says here that there's good news and bad news for Gray. The bad news is that we have decided to limit Gray dolls for now to Transcendence Semi-Real and Anime, Fortitude and Courage Semi-Real, and Anomaly Anime. The reason is that we can't manage the extra load of Gray. We need to focus on the human tones as well. The good news is that Prowess Gray, Never Say Never Gray, and any remaining stock of other Gray girls will be released as Chaos painted heads. These are product quality, but will still be sold at the standard Chaos painted head prices. That's awesome. So you don't get to choose them. It's still Chaos, but but you can still pick the skin tone. So you can pick Gray. You just don't know which Gray you're going to get. You can pick blue, you just don't know which blue you're going to get, or etc. Etc., 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 people. Oh, he also says, we found a load of Prowess Blue with Gray whiskers that we never released, all product quality. These will also be sold in Chaos Painted Head section at Chaos Painted Head prices. Prices do not include head cap or eyes. So do keep that in mind. You won't get any eyes and you won't get any head caps with these, but you do get some pretty cool stuff. Like I can see right here is the prowess gray with the black whiskers and the prowess blue with the gray whiskers. So good luck. And hopefully you guys got which ones that you want and the chaos gods were nice to you. I didn't participate in this because I'm trying to save money. I'm trying to be good. But yeah, I mean, hopefully those of you that participated in this chaos drop, I wish you all the best, and hopefully you got exactly what you were looking for. Now, moving on. Progress, people. Progress. This is the new pear-shaped body. Now, this is not any vinyl. These are all 3D printed. So, according to Danny, it's lost some of its more defining features. I think that's how he worded it, if I'm not mistaken. So, like, he says, though, this is just like rough 3D printing. When the vinyl ones come out, it'll have a little bit more definition or and things like that. So it's just just a rough draft, so to speak, of what it looks like. But it's looking good. You could definitely see a huge visible difference between the pear-shaped body here. I guess we're naming Project Hilda or whatever you guys want to call it. And then like a regular sized, or I shouldn't say regular, right? But like the original size of Smart Dolls on the side, next to her, which is Courage. The very lovely Courage. But she looks good, man. I mean, she looks good. If his goal is to make a pear-shaped body, to make a more inclusive body to include a lot of different individuals for representation, I mean, this looks amazing. It's hitting the mark. I've seen a lot of people in the comments section, oh, she's just like me. I've seen other people in the comment section be a little critical, which is not a bad thing necessarily. Like if you give good critical information that Danny Chu can use, you never know, that information could be used and put into the new prototype and may make it to the final version. But some of you are putting some weird things in the comment section of recommendations that aren't really, good recommendations or criticisms. They're just kind of like, or ugly and or too big or too skinny or what. That's not really helpful. Like, yes, you're voicing your opinion and you should be allowed to voice your opinion, but it's not like helpful in what Danny needs and to make this the product that you guys want to see. Like he wants more description, you know what I mean? Like, oh, maybe if you do tuck the tummy a little more or make the tummy come out a little more, or maybe the thighs slightly larger, or maybe more of an hourglass, like those kind of things. But if you just say ew or great or good, like those are all nice, like those are all your opinion and you're more than welcome to share it. But if we can have some, good like critical criticism so that we can have a great product in the end, that would be awesome too. And kudos to all of you that have been giving some really good feedback to Danny Chu, and you can definitely notice some of that feedback already showing up with the a little bit of a thicker neck that some individuals have been asking for, and like the thing with the what's it called, the wider arms, which individuals have been asking for, and you can see the difference. Another thing that's a difference here between the two of them is not only is this the regular head and the really cool way that he's been putting it up in a ponytail, but this is, if I'm not mistaken, the larger bust size. So on the left, you have I guess the default bust size that he's going to use, I guess, when it releases, and this one's going to be a slightly larger bust size. And let him know what you think between the differences in his Twitter poll or Facebook or Instagram, wherever it is that you guys saw these pictures. Definitely let Danny Chu know your opinion, and maybe if it's perfect just the way she is, great. But if you have so many good criticism of maybe some minor changes, that'll also be very constructive and helpful in making the final project come true. Now, this is the last thing I'm going to talk about for this week, and I'm going to make it short and sweet because I don't think it really is an issue. And whether or not, like, there are some individuals out there that are saying this is a big issue. There's some individuals that are saying this is a non-issue. Whichever side of the fence that you are on, feel free to voice out your opinion and your thoughts on these things. But me personally, I don't think it really is something that should garner too much attention. It looks like more of a misunderstanding than anything. But basically, I guess I'll read out the whole thing for you guys. Chair sinking again. I'll read out the whole thing for you guys because I don't want to paraphrase and then misrepresent. So let me just read what it says. So there's a comment that an individual made where it says, "I'm white myself. I have an equal number of doll skin tones, 2 of each. I love them all, but Coco doesn't photograph as well as the others, especially inside. That's not an issue for me as I rarely photograph my dolls, but it is a factor in some of my friends' decision to not buy Coco. Not racist, just practical. Whilst 100% supporting the need for more diversity in doll collecting, generally, I would like to be able to purchase a cinnamon doll as much as a Coco doll, which I can't do. Again, not racist, just acknowledging that I want my collection to be diverse, but that includes a representation of me. In parentheses, they put white. I'm lucky that my collection is just about complete. I have my eye on a cinnamon vampire girl, but if I was starting out, I would be disappointed that I couldn't buy a diverse collection, including paler skins. Surely inclusivity includes everyone." Now, it got cut off in this picture. I got it straight from Danny Chu's Instagram. But it says, "Thank you for sharing," and I think it says your thoughts or whatever it is at the bottom. But it's not like it was a bad comment. I'm not trying to make this person's comment out to be a bad one. I think it's just the comment itself has garnered attention. And whether it's a good attention or bad intention, I guess that's up for you as the individual to decide on that. But it's just, I think it all started because when you look on the website, most of the frontline girls, if not 90% of the frontline girls, are all in the Coco skin tone. It's just something that Danny Chu did because he wants to push his initiative on what was the word that he says, like inclusivity, so that everybody gets representation. Now I totally understand this commenter's thing saying that inclusivity includes everyone. 100%. They're 100% right on that. That's the whole point of inclusivity. Everyone is in it. But I think what he was aiming for, and don't take this for like a fact, okay? Because I'm paraphrasing. He did do a reply post where he agrees with this comment, and he's basically saying that what he's trying to sell on the front line is more diversity that is lacking in the doll. I guess you could say, I don't know if I want to say community, or more so than to say within doll sales, I think it is, or doll production is another one. Because remember, Smart Doll is not the only doll company in the world. You have other doll companies like Volks, like Azone, like Dollbot, like I forgot what the other one was called. There was another one. And then even if you want to include resin dolls and plastic dolls, you take that whole group of dolls, at least from the Asian side, like all the Asian companies. I'm not talking American Girl or Barbie or anything like that. Like anything from like Asian ball jointed dolls, like originating from Japan or Korea or China or whatever it is that the other doll maker companies come from, is that the majority of dolls that are released are all of the paler skin tone. And then every now and then you have a tan skin tone from certain companies. But at least till this day, I think Danny Chu and Smart Doll is the only one still offering Coco skin tone colors. Now, I know other companies are also either researching or jumping on the bandwagon to make their own versions of Coco. And I know some resin companies have already done Coco, or their version of a Coco skin tone. But I think what he's trying to do is trying to balance it out. So it's not like he's trying to sell more Coco on his website than paler skin or cinnamon or tea, because he's trying to push Coco. I think he's just pushing Coco so that there's more representation within the doll production releases in general, because the other companies are not doing it or haven't gotten to that point of releasing it yet, that he's filling that void, so that it's out there. But he has absolutely no intentions of discontinuing cinnamon or tea skin tones. Those will definitely be there for the foreseeable future. I don't see them going away, especially he's adding another skin tone of coffee at some point. And then of course he has his like fantasy colors. I was gonna say galaxy colors. His fantasy colors like interstellar blue, and now we have galaxy gray or galactic gray. So that's really all it was. Again, please read everything that is in this individual's post, because this was not a bad post. This is a very informative post. And please read Danny Chu's post on the reply, because it's all really good information. Don't take anything out of context and kind of jump to the conclusion of maybe there's something shady going on, because there's not. Just make sure you read everything in its entirety so that you can get the whole picture. Again, don't just take my word for it, because I am paraphrasing what I read. I'm not reading it word for word on Danny's reply or Danny's intentions. So definitely go to Danny Chu's Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, wherever you usually go for your social media to find your Smart Doll news. Find Danny Chu's post and actually read it for yourself, because he actually did a whole long post, which I'm not going to read word for word because it was really, really long. So I was only paraphrasing, and of course my paraphrasing could have been wrong. My interpretation of the way I read it could have been wrong. So I definitely urge you to read it yourself. But that's what I got from it when I read it. So, definitely make sure that if you're really interested and really want to know what's going on, read the full post, okay? And then come to a conclusion yourself about what's going on. But definitely, cocoa is there to stay, but cinnamon's not going anywhere. Tea is not going anywhere. There will continually be more of those available. But yeah, I don't want to touch any more upon this, because I don't think it needs any more attention than that. I strongly urge you to just read Danny Chu's post in its entirety, and then you'll have a better understanding or a better picture to make up your decision or your mind on, what the situation is actually about. And I think that's it. Yeah. That's it for Dolphy Dream, or not really Dolphy Dream. That's it for the Doll Symposium for episode 46. Now we do have a submission this week for the community shout out, and that will be next. So our next community shout out is from Lumi. And Lumi has participated in the community shout out before and has decided to participate again. Thank you, Lumi, for participating. And I will read out your message for everybody that you left. So here we go. You guys ready? Lumi says, hello again. This time for the shout out, I want to share my Azone Reno in her full set Delphinium blue outfit. And this one is Reno right here on the left side of the screen. And introducing my new girl, the Smart Doll Future T, my very first Smartie, right here on the right. I also got her from Fabric and Friends, and she's wearing an outfit from the Doll Clothier. Pictures truly don't do her justice. She's not on the new frame, and she feels very sturdy. Once again, your videos helped me prepare for her. I was able to expect the height difference between my Smartie and Azone because of you. I'm hoping in the future to get a Chitose Realityverse Cinnamon Girl. I've been a Chitose fangirl since the beginning, but Future called to me first. Hope all is well, Lumi. Thank you again, Lumi, for participating in the community shout out. I love both your lovely girls there. Reno is definitely a cutie. I kind of want one, but I'm holding off because I said it many times. I'm trying to save up so I can go to Japan. I'm trying to be a good boy. It has been very hard with all these amazing releases coming out lately. And especially because I bought Galactic Grey Courage. That definitely took a chunk, but I kind of really wanted her. And then obviously Future and T. What a cutie. I like your clothes from the Doll Clothier with the little Ichigos, little strawberries there. Very nice. Thank you again for participating in the community shout out. And I'm glad the information that I put out there was able to help you come to a better understanding and a better decision when purchasing your dolls. That definitely makes me feel good that, I did something that, was very helpful to you and hopefully others within the community when purchasing their next doll or their first dolls. As for the Chitose reality verse, good luck on that. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I just mean I hope you do get your hands on her, because I think Reality vs. Chitose was on a limited run, and depending on how the sales went, it might get another run with a body, but I'm not entirely sure about that. So hopefully, if not, if she doesn't come back, unfortunately, if that were to happen, hopefully you'll be able to find her on the secondhand market, as Chitose Reality Verse is definitely one of the cuties in the semi-real line. And eventually I'll get my hands on one of them. Hopefully. It's just, just trying to be good, trying to save. It's really hard when all these companies keep releasing all these amazing things, and it's like, don't do this to me. But thank you again, Illumi, for participating in the community shout out this week. And don't forget, everybody, if you want to participate in the community shout out as well, send me an email to dlwshizusan@gmail.com. You can put as many pictures as you want, just as, Lumi has put in some pictures that I showed you here. And if you want to leave a message that I can read out for the community, put that in there. The only thing that I ask is just make sure that the pictures are family friendly, not too, you can get a little risque, but nothing rated mature kind of thing. If you just so happen to submit a picture that's kind of on the borderline, I'll just email you back and just be like, can you send me another picture that's a little bit more non-risque. But that hasn't happened. All of you have been really good with your submissions on pictures, so I don't think that's going to be a big deal. Also, just specify in your email if there's anything in that email you do not want me to disclose, because the last thing I want to do is accidentally say things worldwide on the internet, on YouTube, that you did not want anybody to know. So just make sure that you put it on your email, what is okay to say and what is not okay to say, because chances are, if you don't specify, I just won't read anything out loud in your email. I'll just show the pictures. So yeah, if you want to participate in the community shout out, please do so at dlwshizusan@gmail.com. So that really ends everything for today's episode of the Doll Symposium, episode 46. Here comes Kano back to join us. Yay! Such a cutie. Look, I'm going to bring her up closer to the screen. Right? Look at her. She's so adorable. Really like her. So, thank you everybody for coming to episode 46 of the Doll Symposium. As always, I am your host, Shizusan, and my beautiful assistant here is the very lovely Kano. So, last but not least, please, if you want to come and hang out and meet more doll people, come to Thy Geekdom Con, May 26th to 28th. It's going on right now. So if you're watching this video on release day, it's going on right now, and you're in the tri-state area of Pennsylvania, Jersey, New York, definitely come down. It'll be a blast. And I hope to see some of you there. So thank you everybody for watching, and please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one.
This is our time, this is our life. Sometimes all you need is a smile to get by.